Week 4 in the books, going to week 5. How about that? We came out ahead this week.
About time.
I mean, all thanks to
About
you taking
time.
Atlanta and Dallas. Golly, I applaud you.
Yeah.
I applaud you.
Dallas. Hey, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm here all week. Dallas should have won, dude. Dallas should
They
have
should
won
have
that
won.
game.
They should have
You
won.
know,
And my
just
voice, I still
poor
haven't got my
decision
voice back
making.
from that game.
Yeah, me too. I lost mine the day after you discovered you lost yours. But I'll tell you what, that's probably one of the best football games I've been to. And I've been to a
Yes,
lot of football games that I can recall. Let's put it that way.
I 100% agree.
The penalties killed them. The
Yeah,
the first and goal from the 4 yard line or whatever in overtime, 3 yard line, whatever it was. Um, you run the ball, you get stuffed, and then you go two passes when you're averaging 4.4 yards a carry. Williams he's having a great year. From, if I'm not mistaken, I read somewhere, heard somewhere that he's like second in the league in yardage or something of that nature.
really.
But I think he was behind either Brees Hall or one of them guys. I'd have to go in there and do some research, but it's really not important. It's behind us, but it was a big victory for me. And Atlanta showed up like I figured they would.
New
Um,
England -5. I mean,
yeah, yep, I got
good
them here.
picks.
So it ended up being a decent game, decent week for us. And for me, I'm not satisfied with it. Matter of fact, I was so disappointed that I left town to go somewhere else, been in a different spot, changed my scenery. As you can see, the background's
Yeah,
changed. I'm going to try something different and see if we can't turn this ship around.
right. I think we will.
I
I think
mean,
we will. But
excuse me,
the
I'm kind of hoarse, but it is what it is. And so, really quick, I'm gonna put some picks out there as you are, and hopefully we can turn this around. And I'm
Yep,
pretty much ready to get started.
I'm ready
Um,
whenever you are.
I was noticing a lot of the lines where they originally opened and where they're at today is some of them are drastic,
Yeah.
dramatic changes. But anyway, so I'll start it off if you want. I'm going to look at tomorrow night's game, and I'm going to look at the Rams and the Niners. And I can tell you that they're both 3-1. Obviously, if you don't know that, they're both 3-1. San Francisco's coming off a bad loss where they turned the ball over 4 times against Jacksonville, who were also like a 3.5, I believe, 3.5 point underdog in that game. And the Niners just fell apart. Their Russian attack, is still kind of suspect. I just think they're a better team than obviously they're 3-1 for a reason. Let's put it that way. And
Yeah.
so, with that said, I think the Rams have got a pretty good team as well. And I think I'm just going to tell you right now that I'm going to ride one out here, and I'm going to go with the Rams. But I'm going to pull a KJ. I'm going to go with the money line on the Rams over the Niners tomorrow night. Usually I don't play too many money lines, but there's a few of them I might be doing this week because, like I said, the line was so drastic that I'm just going to say that the Rams, I believe, can go out there and win it. It did open from what I saw at 5.5. The Rams -5.5, and now it's up to 7.5. And I'm just going to play them on the money line.
No, I was looking like with the Minnesota and in the Cleveland, Joe Flacco sitting out. They're, I mean, I don't know, man. They're playing in London. I'm not going to even take that. So I decided like the lines didn't even change when they set out. They announced they're sitting out Joe Flacco. So I'm like the over under 36.5. Now it's at 36, and it was 3.5 in favor for Cleveland, and it still stayed at 3.5. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna back off on that. But I was so impressed on the Sunday night game with the Dallas Cowboys because Green Bay, talked about top 5 defense and all that, but Dak Prescott, it seemed like he just found every hole that they had open, and I believe in Dallas. CeeDee Lamb may be hurt, but Pickens played very well. Ferguson, yes, is the defense not great? Yes, but when you got a quarterback like Dak that can, they score on the Dallas defense, and boom, Dak comes right back and scores back. I mean, that right there just tells me that they're going to the Jets to play. I'm comfortable with the -2.5, so I'm taking Dallas -2.5.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and skip down because that's one of my picks as well. You covered it pretty well right there. Dallas, matched score for score pretty much in that game. If we had a defense, well, obviously neither team had a defense that night, or you wouldn't have scored 40 points each. 80 points in a game. That's
Yeah.
crazy. I can't I can't fault your pick there one bit because I'm riding it too. I'm taking Dallas. That's one of my picks, so we're on the same page here. I'm going to lay the 2.5. I'll probably buy it down. Um,
Yeah.
two. I don't think it, honestly. I don't think that it's going to come into play myself. I don't think it's going to be a 3-point game. I think it'll be Dallas will win this game by a little bit more than 3 points. I don't want to sit there and say they're going to win by 7 or 10 or 20, but I think
Yeah.
they're definitely going to cover the spread, whether it be 2, 2.5, 3, whatever. I think they're going to cover it. So I'm on board with you. I'm taking Dallas as well.
Okay. My second pick is Detroit going to Cleveland. It's hard to put money on, it's 10 points is Detroit's favorite, and going on the road, it's hard to just lay 10 points. But I believe in Detroit as well. Detroit may be the one that's going to win the NFC North. And they're playing so damn good. That kind of makes me mad, but because the Bears got a lot of work to do if they're going to try to win that division. But I'm taking Detroit money line.
All right. All righty. Well, I am going to go to the Giants Saints game for my third pick. And I know that, you know, Dart showed up. The Giants got their first win. The kid, and I think I made this statement, and we can go back and look. And if you don't believe me, that I told you that such a thing that I believe in rookies having beginner's luck or having a show up game or show out game. It doesn't always work that way, but more in the past few years, it's a proven fact that the rookies step in and boom, what do? Look at Mahomes in his rookie season, and you can go on. You can go back to Dallas and Dak in his rookie season, his first
Yeah.
season. I mean, a lot of it. This kid showed up. Now I believe that he has sustained a hamstring injury. So whether he's playing this week or not, I don't know. I know Neighbors is out, from what I understand.
Yeah.
He's out for the season.
I think it's the ACL or something like that.
Yeah, it's more an ACL. So with that said, obviously that tells you kind of where I'm leaning in this game. I know New Orleans, I said last week, was bad and Buffalo was good. I truly believe that still to this day, but I do believe that New Orleans bad is better than the Giants bad. So I'm going to take the Saints. That's another one I'm going to take on the money line, just for them to win it. It's only a 1.5 point spread from what I see. If the money's not that big a difference in this, so there's no sense in me laying the point and a half if I don't have to. So I'm going to take the Saints money line over the Giants.
Yeah, I think I would too. It's time for New Orleans to win a game.
You know what? I think they're getting it together. I know, you know, Kellen Moore, is not, here's the one thing I'll say. And Kellen Moore was a third string quarterback. Kellen Moore was a pupil of Jason Garrett, under him. And I'm not faulting him for it, but what I'm saying is I just don't think Kellen Moore is the answer to New Orleans. Will he grow into that role? Will he get better with time? Sure. But, first year first head coaching job for him. He's not a Schottenheimer who had a daddy, named Marty Schottenheimer, to mentor him, as well as all the assistant coaching roles and other positions that, Brian Schottenheimer was under when he started out. Kellen Moore doesn't have that pedigree.
Right.
So but I believe that he can get them up and running. I believe they got a team that, I think they're a better team than the Giants. I'm going to take New Orleans money line.
Okay. My third pick is Washington going to the Chargers. They flew back home, East Coast, West Coast, flying from the West Coast to East Coast, long trip. I didn't put that in a factor, but they're back at home. Washington's now flying out to LA. I think I don't think the Chargers will lose 2 games in a row this season. So make that easy. I think they're going to beat Washington, and I'm taking the Chargers at -3. I think that Herbert, I think they're going to probably just fix that offensive line. Maybe, they have those pep talks, whatnot, whatever the case may be. I think the offensive line finally sees that we need to help this guy out a little bit.
Right.
So, because the way that the Giants played against them, it just looked like the Giants were like all stars there. But I don't see them losing 2 games in a row this year. I think Jim Harbaugh is going to be a lot more strict. I think they're going to have a good game plan with them. So again, Chargers -3.
I think it's a great bet. Herbert's a great quarterback. He's got a great coach. Everybody stumbles in this league. It happens. I think it's a good pick. My next one, my fourth pick, I'm going to go to the Titans Cardinals game. Heading into week 5, there's only 3 teams that have not picked up a win. The Jets Saints return home, like we talked about, 0-4, as we talked about that. Arizona started off 2-0. They were doing
Mm-hmm.
okay, and they struggled a little bit, but um, I think on Sunday that Tennessee, from what I read and looked up, has not scored a touchdown in 2 road losses at Denver and Houston. And
They played so bad last week.
yeah, and I think it's going to continue. So, not going into a bunch of details. I mean, I think Arizona is just a better team here. Um, I'm going to have to say that I don't have a problem laying the 7.5 points with Arizona against Tennessee. I'm thinking because I actually wrote down question mark, lay the 7 or money line. And I think I'm confident enough to say that I think Arizona can cover this. Although Arizona's last couple victories were in the last part of the game, where they scored at the last bit, if you will, or at late in the second
Yeah.
half.
And one
So
of those teams was
really,
Carolina.
it's really tempting just to say, let's don't lay the points and take the money line. But I believe Arizona is just a better team. I think they got a pretty decent defense. I'm
Yep.
going to take Arizona. I'm going to lay the points. If it's at a 7.5, I'm going to buy it down to 7. But I'm going to go with it. I'm going to scratch off the money line. Hope it works out in my favor. But I'm taking Arizona over Tennessee minus the points.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with everything you said. They're just a better team. And Tennessee, I mean, it's just a QB. That's it, man. It's 1 on 11. That's how I see it. And after last week, when I picked Tennessee, I took the points. I even said that Tennessee will probably win outright, and they got smoked. So shame on me for doing that. But my last pick is New England at Buffalo. So in the beginning of the season, when the season started, I looked at Buffalo's schedule, and the first half, I literally went down every team that they're playing this year, or yeah, the first half of this year, and I had them undefeated. Like, so in that case, for me having it undefeated, I'm taking Buffalo money line over New England. Playing at home, the way they've been playing. I don't know if it's like that's their true talent. I know they're better. Even on paper, they're extremely good, but the way they've been just playing, I don't know. There's been a lot of talk about them, about how they're playing on defense, how their offense is wishy-washy. I think this is one of those games that they're just going to be like, let's just show everybody who we really are, and no better team to do it than the New England Patriots. So I'm taking the money line. I'm not taking the points.
Well, once again, you and I are on the same game, and I'll tell you that I had these 2 marked down to choose to which one of these 2 games I was going to pick, and I'll share with you, it was the Jacksonville Kansas City game and the New England Buffalo game. And and I told you after my 2 weeks of Buffalo dropping me the week prior, I laid the points. They win by 10. Should have covered that game last week. They did it to me again. And
Yeah,
like you were about Atlanta last week, is how I felt about Buffalo. But I really believe that, over the years, Buffalo and New England have been a pretty good rivalry game. you know, May's playing well for New England.
He
There is
is.
no ands or buts about it. He's playing well. But Buffalo is doing what they need to do to win. And both of those victories came in double digits. Um, I don't think New England has the answer to keep up with Buffalo. At least my gut again. I don't really want to go against Kansas City against Jacksonville, even though Jacksonville's 3-1. Kansas City's 2-2. They got 2-2 last week against Baltimore, which both were 1-2. If I'm not mistaken, yeah, 1-2. And so I thought Kansas City would go home 1-3, but it worked out that but Baltimore went home 1-3. So I decided, when I was doing some reading here, to scratch that Kansas City game because I just can't lay the 3.5. I don't want to bet the money line on it. I don't want to take Jacksonville. So I decided with you on the same side is I'm going with Buffalo, but I am going to lay the points. I like the money better, and so I'm going to lay it. It was at 8.5 when it opened, and it's still at 8.5. The over and under opened at 46.5, but it has jumped all the way to 49.5. So
Wow.
everybody is betting the over. So the money has moved it up 3 points in the total, and it hasn't affected the spread. So I came close to betting this game under, but I've decided I'm just going to take Buffalo. I'm going to lay the 8 points. I'm going to buy it down like I always do when it comes to the hook. And I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills, I believe, to show up this week and continue to win that game by double digits. So that's mine.
Okay.
I got it pretty much there. And again, that Kansas City game was tempting, but I just think they're right now they're where I think Dallas is at in some cases. I think they're just too inconsistent right now for me to ride that wave. So
Right.
I'm gonna.
Right. Yeah. I hear you on that.
That's it for me. Those are mine.
Okay. And yep, I did. I'm only doing 4. I don't trust myself to do any more. So
I'm just wondering maybe what we ought to do is maybe we ought to bet the whole damn sheet and maybe we'll get lucky and either. Yeah, just kidding. I'm just being funny.
maybe next week if we have a good win on these games, if we go 9-0, we do the whole sheet next week.
Yeah, you know what I think we should do? I think what we should do is just 1 week, just do that. Let's just
Yeah.
pick the whole damn sheet.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Hey, it's called gambling, right?
Now we have better luck picking our nose.
We'll make a $2 bet that's gonna be like 60 some $1,000.
But yeah, yeah. Well, wouldn't that be nice? So, those parlays,
Then
man, I love them, but damn, they're so hard to hit.
yeah,
But when you hit
yeah,
them, they're really nice. That
yeah.
payout really good. But you got to lay those points to get that real good money.
That's true.
Especially if the spreads, 6, 5, 6, 7 or higher. I mean, like I said, the money line. For example, if we wanted to bet Buffalo on the money line, which you're doing, you know what you've got to lay to win $100?
What is it?
$440. If you took the Patriots on the money line and laid 100, that's this particular side I'm looking at. You'd be plus
Yeah.
350. I'll kind of go over it real quick before we sign off. Let me find you one here. Hang on. Let me see. Okay, let's go to the Rams game. I bet the Rams. I said, let's take them on the money line.
Yeah.
And I've got to lay $395 to win 100 on them. I think what I'll do is I'm not, maybe I'll just put these money line bets into some of my straight bets where I laid those points, and that'll help me compensate on the return on my money. But that's the big money that you got to lay to hit those money line bets when they're a big favorite like that.
So
So
the parlay. Let me see real quick here. 1, 2. Let's see. Cowboys and
while you're talking about it, I'll tell you this: I like the money line on Dallas
um.
because you'd have to lay 120 because the way the juice is on this game, it's usually 110 to 10%, but in this case, it's minus 120 under normal circumstances. So for Dallas on the money line, you only have to lay 142. So you're basically laying 22 more dollars and not giving up the 2.5 points.
Right. Yeah.
So
Oh
that's a good
yeah.
money line for me.
Yeah.
Another one, Saints. You only got to lay 122 and not give up any points. That's a good money line bet. Um, so
So rounding this up in a parlay, the ones that I picked, plus 451.
that's what I'm saying. That's good. When you do it like that, that's good money. So anyway, I will talk to you soon. I wish you luck
Yep.
with your
Good luck,
picks this
everybody.
week. I think we're on a few together this time. You got money line on some of them. I got money line on some of them this week. But yeah, I wish everybody luck. I'm glad that we kind of turned it around last week. At least I had a
Yep.
W, and that's what I was looking for. So
Yep.
let's hope we can continue it.
Yep. Yes, sir. Good luck to you. And
Same to you.
we'll talk next week.
Sounds good. Have a good evening, everybody.
Everybody, peace out.